Double digit part 10. Very nice. We are in episode 4 of our double digit part 10 of our Hev 10. We're going to see if we get some keys on how to build heaven in this part. I mean, that's really every episode. We're constantly talking about how we create life. Heaven and hell, same place. Same thing. It's all your mind, right? It's all about how you feel about your individual, unique segment of infinity. I'm your host. I'm your author, Tehuti with the booty, looking kind of like a cutie, only because I got some sleep. So in like part 9, that was like me just find like delirious after not sleeping for a good amount of time and consistently just putting things out because well, I'll sleep when I'm dead. JK, I sleep like quite a lot. Sleep is very important. When you sleep, you actually wake up. So this is why I love to work out. I love to beat this body up so that when I'm sleeping, I'm using the time well. Because I know like it's very masculine. It's very like light supremacist. What we're taught to think from this Freemasonic society that sleeping is a waste of time, basically. And if you could live an ideal life, it would be where there's no sleeping. I still think that quite a bit when I just think about all the creations and art that I would like to bring into this world and how literally the only thing holding me back is being a human. And then that's why fasting is so important. So that the things that make humans humans don't actually hold a spirit back from creating in a true spiritual capacity. So we are about to grind up a little of these leaves. We're hanging out with the trees. Everything's communicating. It's beautiful. I hope you're communicating well with yourself. I hope you are marrying yourself and that you love having sex with yourself on a consistent basis. AKA, I hope that you have a thought and a feeling that you enjoy bringing together in confidence. That's what confidence is. Confidence is to have a secret that no one else knows. And your secret is always going to be who you truly are. How you appear is never, ever, ever who you truly are. You can only express who you truly are through your communications. And then that builds your appearance. That builds your structure. So if you forgot why you created a human body if you forgot why you created a human body, it's important to get in touch with your greater higher self to figure out what you wanted to communicate inside of this structure. Because you're only communicating. This body that you're in is only surviving and only alive because it's constantly communicating inside of itself. So it's literally up to you to communicate properly with your body so that it can actually support you in the way that you want to be supported. And that literally requires you knowing your vision and having a solid imagination and then feeling high vibrational about it. Right? You can't be your own demon. Most of these spirits are their own demons, and that's where the spiritual warfare comes from. Is spirits just fighting together, externalizing their problems at each other. This is why I don't want to be worshipped. All right, when these women are worshiping me, all they're doing is bringing their problems to me. That's what sins are. Sins are you judging your emotion in a negative way. And now you're bringing that judgment to someone else because it's all emotion. There's really no such thing as sin. Sin itself is to be dense. And that overall is just feeling anything. Okay? Feeling anything is a sin. All right? Like the desire in general is sinful. This is the point. Desirelessness, that's the spirit. That's who you truly are. The moment you attach to something, anything, that is emotional, and now you are in desire, and now you are of sin because the sine wave is dipping down. So this is just nature. This is why it's so important to watch how you communicate with yourself. Because anything that you think is a sin, you only think is a sin, and you're only judging because you were taught to do that. So then it's important to, because everything is communication, trickle down or just tether the line of like, well, who taught you this? And then why do they teach you that? And everything is so esoteric, like everything's so subconscious. You have to travel there mentally. You have to like, when you have ideas that you believe and you believe in these ideas and you did not create them, you need to know that when you act out of ideas you didn't create, you're not building your own world. You're expressing your individuality always. You have to express your individuality. But when you're doing it inside of a system that disrespects or is reliant on siphoning or even just squashing your individuality, that's where you have a just constant battle in general. And that's what we see in the Americas, where it's a battle for individuality, and really just with governments in general. Because the whole point of a government is that it's individuals who need to make you not an individual. Because if you're consistently an individual, if you're actually spiritual, then these spirits feel like they won't be able to control you. So that's where then we get like these Freemasonic European, UK, United States, overall light supremacist governments working so hard to make their citizens scared of death so that they cling to the body, and then they control everything around that body so that people are constantly scared, and then they think that the government is a superhero because the government is stepping in to solve the problems that they created. And it's all trickling from the main problem that they're the ones who colonized and stole everything that we put out as indigenous spirits who are actually living here in true freedom, because no one's scared of death, and thus no one's projecting death in that extreme way. But the entities who are scared of death are also going to use death to take what they want, because they actually perhaps can die, or at the very least, saying that either can die is in their AI and they're not a spirit, or they're a spirit who hates their alone realm and they're scared of dying, and that's why they can get indoctrinated with the idea of hell, because they're already in hell. You're not going anywhere. Anywhere you are projecting from your infinite space, and you're using your mind to do that. And then you can use your mind to project and go anywhere else. It's just tethered to this body. So sleeping is really important, because when you go to sleep, you gain way more awareness of your other bodies that your spirit is using in other simulations, whether past lives or even future lives that don't make sense. Just wherever your spirit has created a body inside of to then gather experiences, that's where dreams are really important for tapping into all those awarenesses, because you get to learn about greater aspects of you. And this is the point of a spirit overall creating bodies in infinite simulations, is to learn about who it is in all these different circumstances. It's to learn how it navigates and how it behaves here versus here versus here versus here. And then the more it does that, it just gets to learn about who it is overall. And this is what we're doing all the time. It's like on a cosmic scale, we're just playing each other's video games. And then we gain the experience and level up from the video game that we chose to be in. And with that experience, ideally, we will create our own game that other people like to play. That's how I like to do it as a Taurus. There's, of course, more than enough spirits who are more than happy to never create their own game and just constantly play other games, to the point where they look like NPCs, because they literally would rather just play all these other games than create their own for whatever reason. So again, that's just where we come down to creators versus consumers, and how much on the spectrum are you a creator versus a consumer. The point of fasting is to take your frequency way closer to the creator God side, instead of, the demonic consumptive side, where one is constantly at the reaction of their environment and constantly eating, and then they get obese and create heart problems and cancer, and just overweigh themselves based on how they communicate with themselves and the environment. So we're talking about lightening our vibration, because true freedom is to be as light as possible. And true freedom then is to be not light at all. So these entities who are focused so hard on colonizing my tablets and taking what I put out so that they can trap your freedom are reliant on making you believe that your spirit is light, because they can control the light, because the light is something you can see, when really light is just what the spirit looks like. And then that you can never know what the spirit actually is, or like how it actually feels. You can only know how feelings look, and that's why we have to communicate constantly, because we can't actually just connect and know what the other person's feeling. It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We have to then combine our imagination. We have to add that one to the two so that we can have a full totality of three in the sea to actually share our imaginations together. And then we will feel like we're actually connecting. Because the point of connecting is for us to then appreciate each other as individuals. This is why we love sharing stories and we love just appreciating each other as individuals. It's infinite, individual, because you are invisible as an individual. No one can see you when you're an individual. You then need to join a collective in some way so that you can express your individuality. This is the point of going from the alone realm to the all one realm. Okay. Yeah, this just cut off because what I'm talking about is important. Everything, of course. I mean, it's all wisdom here. This is the point, is to make sure that we're not lost in light so that we have ultimate freedom. And the moment we believe that our spirit is any light, we're infinitely restricted, because the spirit is so infinite. You literally can't imagine it. Imagining how infinite the spirit is becoming the light. That's you being the first awareness. So that's why it's so important, once you know that you're a light and you're connected to your spirit, which is infinite unconscious individuality, then that's where listening to your own spirit is essential, because your spirit will communicate way more infinite things to you through feelings and what you need to do versus what you feel like you want to do based on your ego body. A perfect example is someone who egotistically loves smoking, and their spirit is like, hey, you shouldn't smoke anymore. And they keep sending feelings like, don't smoke anymore. And this person is like, I keep feeling like I shouldn't smoke anymore, but like I want to. I desire it. So, I mean, logically, I can make it work where it's just like smoking. And then that's where anyone can use logic to rock themselves to sleep. This is the point of logic. So, just very important things to factor in. How you are already the light. So anything you can see is an externalization of you, because it's all light. And then if you're with other individuals, then just know that it's simultaneously you and not you. So really, you should only focus on what's in your control, because what's in your control is actually you. When you're in your alone realm, everything is in your control. That's the point of why it's too fiery of an imagination to connect with anyone else. You can't just have a realm where you're in full control. That's the desire of light white supremacy. So this is how people have been operating in this realm for a long time, where they believe that they are in the alone realm of another entity, when this is the all one realm. It's just that this entity who desires to entrap everyone in their alone realm pushes this agenda so hard, this Luciferian light agenda, that you need to connect to source, because really it's just going to connect to them. And then they can use your spirit however they want, because you don't feel worthy of being yourself. Welcome to spiritual warfare. Like, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. So we're about to get into, what is this? The seven lords. They're going to talk about just how these numbers rule over us. We've already been through how they don't. How the numbers are just a natural expression of the spirit feeling like expressing itself, or connecting with others, building those three things: expressing itself, connecting with other spirits, and building structures in societies. The seven lords. Hearken, O man, and listen to my voice. Open your mind space and drink of my wisdom. Dark is the pathway of life that you travel. Many the pitfalls that lie in your way. So just saying, life is hard. Because you didn't come here for an easy time. So everything I just said with video games, right? Do you sit down to play a game where there's no challenges, or no bosses, or no frustration? or just no trials or tribulation, what kind of video game is that? Not a fun one. Seek ever to gain greater wisdom. Attain, and it shall be light on your way. O man, open your soul to the cosmic and let it flow in as one with your soul. More oneness stuff. Your soul is the cosmic. So the cosmic is what all the souls look like when they come together to make one soul. This is what I'm talking about. The only way we can connect with others is based on how we connect with ourselves. So we have to create our own soul. We have to create our own water. And then from there, based on how our water vibrates, we connect our water with other vibrations that resonate. And then that's where we actually pool our water together. And now we have the cosmos. So when you're an individual alone, you have a soul. When you connect that soul with others, you have the cosmos. You have the infinite depths of everyone's desire to just connect. And then from there, everyone, all the individuals who are connecting and creating the cosmos by bringing all their souls together can then bring in their fire into that water to communicate and create the chi, which is then stars. And that's where stars look like fire but are water, because it shows the internal realm. And then you can see them because that's them combining and communicating that. Light is eternal and darkness is fleeting. Boo. It doesn't make sense. They're literally trying to say that thoughts are eternal and feelings are fleeting, when literally a thought is just a hyper-specific feeling. These light white supremacists are so lost, it's sad. Like, how many people did they get lost with this? All in divine timing. I mean, I know I'm making these videos in divine timing, but like, also, I just don't feel like that. No, it's truly it's both. You know, like, this is very wrong. Like, I get that we create life, so really, what's the point in almost even being upset by this? Because if it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't happen. But also, no, that's one of those Luciferian lies where if it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't happen. Things that aren't meant to happen all the time, because there's no such thing as then what's meant to happen. It's literally all just individuals, and it's all about who cares enough to communicate certain things and to protect the consent of other spirits, and like specifically who cares enough about the children, literally, to protect the children. The children are new communication, so they are the chi. There's no coincidence. The children, the chi, the three, they are what unite all the men and women, all the masculine and feminine energies in the universe are children. They're all communicating. So this is just where it's like so important to watch how you communicate, because that's literally what builds structures. 3 turns into 4. And it's also individual. The idea that there's just one entity controlling everything is a full desire that everyone can literally imagine, which means that that's fire. That's a full fire desire. And there's no life when you have fire. You can't have life if one God is in control of everything. You can't. That's an ultimate desire to colonize all of these other individuals' creations and then make them forget and believe that you made it, so that they can stay stuck worshiping you, stealing their stuff. How evil, like how truly evil desire looks, okay? Desire gets you not good places, all right? Desirelessness. Fast. And the desire to be desireless is comedy. So that's where then the point is balance. To bring your desire and desirelessness together. That's having the ego and spirit in congruence. Know that ever that as light fills your being, darkness for you shall soon disappear. So now it's saying the stuff that it was in like the first tablet, the first episode. Where like darkness is ignorance, darkness will disappear, fill it up. They're literally just saying like, hey, take your vagina and let our dick just get in there and like leave no room for your vagina to stretch anymore. Like, we have this huge dick and we are going to press it all the way inside of you until you literally cannot take it and there's no more room for your own walls and for your own space, basically. There's no more room inside of yourself for yourself. This is sexually the spiritual art that these light white supremacists are trying to convince you to make with them, to let them take their thought that is too big for you and fill your entire space up with it, so you have no room for yourself. And then the spirits that resonates with are, one, mainly feminine spirits, and then two, spirits, the feminine spirits who don't feel like creating their own dick to fill themselves up with, aka creating their own thought to put in their pussy, to then create life and experience their own pleasure. So they feel so negative and disgusting inside of themselves that they would rather get filled up with this random thought, and then that's going to make them feel better. And then it says a lot about that thought, that it like wants the negative emotions of all this stuff. Your darkness is your emotion. Your light is the specific emotion that you want to see. It's that easy. It's truly that easy. It's that clear. Darkness is ignorance, but really light is ignorance, because they're both ignorance if you are lost in either one. But really darkness is not ignorance. No. No. So light is ignorance. Light is ignorance. They really flip in this. Because literally when you shine a light, you are now only seeing what you want to see and what you are projecting and what you are capable of projecting. So it's like you are literally limiting yourself based on your awareness and capability to understand up to that point, meaning that you want to stay comfortable. This is why being in the light is comfortable and being in the darkness is uncomfortable. Being in the darkness can be scary because it's unknown, because you have to rely on your feeling more, and now you seem to be open up to more spiritual things happening, to infinite possibilities happening, versus a light where it's grounded and you get to see the earth and you're like, okay, cool. Versus darkness where it's just water, basically. You're feeling it out. Open your souls to the brothers of brightness. Let them enter and fill you with light. This is insane. This is literally toxic masculinity. Yeah, I mean, sexually, artistically, universally, because this is sexually, S-I-X, turns into S-E-X when we do it collectively. But it just shows like you're trying to truly like colonize you. Like, just again, like taking like, hey, you don't feel good to fill yourself up, so let these brothers run a train on you, basically. Let the brothers of brightness just go on a whole gangbang train, all up in your womb, all up in your space, so that there's no room for you. And when you think that you're done, another brother comes in to fill you back up, and it's just constant forever. That's how they want to interact with you. So whatever, hey, there's spirits to fulfill this space. I get it. It is all communication. But if you don't want to be lost in this and have your freedom taken and have your soul just snatched and have a gang bang train ran on you by the brothers of brightness, then you're here listening to the true author, Tehuti, talk to you about what he actually meant when he was writing these tablets. We're just using English now because the point of this language was to erase these truths. So I'm doing my best. Thanks for bearing with me. Keep a grip with the bear. Yeah, this is just really whack. They literally, let them enter you. Let them enter and fill you with light. They're showing all their hands here. I would never ever in my life tell you to let someone else enter you and fill you with something. I want to throw up just saying that. This is so toxically masculine. Oh wow. Yo, that's actually really making me upset. I'm actually really angry now. That's crazy. So yeah, everything's about consent. And I didn't consent to having my tablets changed like this. This is the thing with communication. and entities that infringe upon the consent of others, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for them. That's sort of where karma comes from. When we think of all these ka sounds, ka being the air, right? So karma, all this, the ka words, just like communication, context, karma, it's all going to deal with air. It's all going to deal with how everything is, well, just communicating. So this is just truly astounding that they're claiming, like, people are really reading this like I wrote it. Like, they really think like, oh, Thoth says that we need to open ourselves and let the brothers of brightness enter and fill us with their light. That sounds like rape. That really, like, man, this is spiritual. This is how it goes. This is really it. And it's all consensual. All right. So you do have to like seek it out and agree to it and be in such a low vibration that you feel like this is the solution. That's how you materialize and just get in a very physical way. When you see people, guys or girls, humans, constantly hooking up, is generally women who get demonized for it, because it's almost like they're expected to be better than men, because men are desire and women are desireless. So when a woman has a lot of sex, because every time a woman has sex, a man has sex. So it's weird when it's like a woman is a slut, or she is just demonized for having a lot of sex, and it's like, well, did she do it with herself? Like, you better go after those men as equally as you're going after her. But in this toxically masculine society, the spiritual point that they're making is that men are supposed to be the ones who are full of desire, and women are the ones who are supposed to cover up their body and stay inside and oppress themselves, because men, if they consume them, well, it's now the woman's fault, because she wasn't spiritual enough to be so desireless that she just like suppressed her freedom of expression. This place is wild. But that is the rationale behind like all that societal stuff as to why that happens. So, and this is like very much what it's just all about, really, the hatred of the feminine, and working so hard to control it, because men are scared of their own feminine. Because the only reason you as a man would not be able to control yourself around a woman that you find attractive is because I guess you don't find yourself attractive enough to just sit. Like, bro, what? So like that's where those men have such internal feminine problems. So like they are such a chaotic woman on the inside that they're a spirit who created a masculine body just to then be able to project that chaos and like live in desire in a way that is more acceptable, because it's congruent to how like they're supposed to spread like fire, basically, and conquer. But really, no. It is truly just all the spirit who are creating the society's relationship with these energies that we're living in, how they project it onto us. And then we have to live that out, because we're living underneath the frequency and then vibration and energy of the ideas that we believe. And then that's where those only resonate in the space of the spirits who created them, and the space that they created them for that purpose, not even who they truly are or whatever. So, whatever. Do not open your soul to the brother of brightness. Any brother, anyone. Do not open your this is what I'm saying, as Thoth. All right? Do not open your soul to anyone but yourself. You are already full enough. You are more than full. You're infinite. You have to contain how infinite you are in this small little vehicle that we call a human body. Okay? This is whack. Let's continue. Lift up your eyes to the light of the cosmos. Keep ever your face to the goal. Only by attaining the light of all wisdom are you one with the infinite goal. Seek ever the oneness eternal. Seek ever the light into one. Wild. This truly just like telling you to constantly run towards source, basically. So seek ever the oneness eternal. I would never say this. I would never say this ever. You shouldn't have to seek anything. Like, this is what I'm literally, I just said it. How, bro, how are you going to be full and be beautiful and happy on your own, but then seeking something? No, you just build some pyramids, build some cool planets for entities to come play on. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, oh man, just shows. It shows the market that they're targeting. It's just so whack because it's like, it's not my market, but they're using me to do it. Frustrating. Only by gaining the light of all wisdom are you one with the infinite goal. Seek ever the oneness eternal. Seek ever the light into one. Gross. Hearken, O man, and listen to my voice, singing the song of light and of life. Throughout all space, light is prevalent, encompassing all with its banners it flames. Seek forever in the veil of the darkness. Somewhere you shall surely find light. Hidden and buried, lost to man's knowledge. Deep in the infinite, deep in the finite, the infinite exists. Seek forever in the veil of the darkness. So right there, that's the veil of your emotions. And the veil is like, they're trying to say illusion. Oh, the light is a veil. Gosh, man. But you can just say it's all veils because it's all light. Regardless, your darkness is your emotion. So yes, you are constantly swimming in your own soul. Anytime you create a body in another world, no matter how far away it seems from you, really, because it's subconsciously attached to you, it's all still your soul. And that's like where you're a web in that way, subconsciously. Seek forever in the veil of the darkness. Somewhere you shall surely find light. Hidden and buried, lost to man's knowledge. Deep in the finite, the infinite exists. So it's just talking about spirit being in everything as well. Lost but existing, flowing through all things. Living in all is the infinite mind. In all space, there is only one wisdom. Through seeming divided, it is one in the one. All that exists comes forth from the night, from the light. All that exists comes forth from the light. Okay, facts. But that's because the light is the first thing that exists. And everything that you can see is just detailed light forms. So then that's where what is light? It is energy or chi that then like vibrates a certain way. And then we have all these different logical details for like what light is based on how we're using it to express our nothingness. So in between the light and nothingness is darkness, which is the actual connection that requires life to shine in the first place. Lost but existing, flowing through all things. Living in all is the infinite mind. In all space, there is only one wisdom. Through seeming divided, it is one in the one. All that exists comes forth from the light, and the light comes forth from the all. Okay, so the all in this case is two. The all one realm, yes. All light is the chi. That's the C, because you can see the light now. The first light is invisible, and the second light is invisible, really. This is feelings, or this is imagination, desires, and then everything that counterbalances those desires, which is feelings. And then those come together to actually create light. So the all is still light, though, but it's like internal light versus external light. So that's where we just say darkness. For sake of English words, darkness is the invisible, light being the visible. So your fire and water are your darkness, your air and earth are your light, and your spirit is nothing. And then all of this is you and what you use to express your 5-cycle reality, basically. And that's how we build 5-cycle reality, physical reality. So the all is the deep, dark feminine. Alone is the frequency masculine. The all is a deep, dark feminine, the vibration. that life actually is made from. Everything created is based upon order. Law rules the space where the infinite dwells. From equilibrium came forth the great cycles, moving in harmony towards infinity's end. So from equilibrium came forth the great cycles. That is the all. Okay, because it's a desire to have no cycles. That's is why every spirit has their dreams and their imagination of who they are alone, but no other spirit can see that because it's literally too individual to them. No other spirit can be a part of it. It's just their flames. It's just their imagination. So this is why if a spirit wants to connect their imagination, they have to cool down into water and desire to connect. And then that's really the invisible light, the all, the darkness that makes all the visible light, which is life, possible. The desire to connect to a spirit outside of oneself. So that desire is the first light, which is the first invisible light, your fire coming from your spirit, your zero. Seek forever in the veil of the darkness, somewhere you shall surely find light. Throughout all space. Okay. Lost but existing, flowing through all things. Living in all is the infinite mind. In all space there is only one wisdom. From equilibrium came forth the great cycles, moving in harmony towards infinity's end. Rhythm, that is feminine. Okay. Rhythm is desire plus everything that balances out desire, all existing within desirelessness. That's why rhythm is a circle in that way. Moving in harmony towards infinity's end. Know, O man, that far in the time space, infinity itself shall pass into change. So infinity is constantly changing. So this is where they're really they got to throw in some truths. That's comedy. Even though they still have, the point is to make us lost in a lie of source. But this is just facts. Infinity itself shall pass into change. Because everything that exists must expire. But really it's about transformation. So that's what change is. It's just constant change. And then it's based on our awareness of how we control this change from our spirit and inside of our own space. Hearken and listen to the voice of wisdom. Know that all is of all evermore. Know that through time you may pursue wisdom and find ever more light on the way. You shall find your goal ever receding to elude you from day unto day. A long time ago, in the halls of Amenti, I, Thoth, stood before the lords of the cycles. Mighty they were in their aspects of power. Mighty they were in their wisdom unveiled. Led by the dweller, I first did see them, but afterwards I was free in their presence, free to enter their conclave at will.